Hello, 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 audio. Oh, I was just snooping around, um, just looking at small points that have big influence on specific people in power. Um, we see this all through history, when somebody weakens or enables um, authority or power or given to given into like weakness, we find ourselves in a position where Biden, this so-called president we have, and how he was trying to deter our enemies from doing things that we know that would hurt a lot of people, right or wrong about what that land is and who so-called it belongs to. I say the people that live there. I think the people that live there have a big say. And according to the people on the ground in Ukraine, we've seen nothing but these type of situations where we know that the majority that we see and hear, um, we know that at least according to CNN, NSCB, ABC, and the numbers that I've seen, over 70% of the people are fighting back in Ukraine. So they obviously don't want Putin doing what he's doing. So why would a U.S. president say that he's going to make a deterrent for them not to do it and put sanctions on them and yet not do it, and say, I'm going to wait 30 days after the invasion? To me, it's just kind of funny, man, how things are put together. But here's another one. I just want to bring this up. I wanted to show, I don't know how many people are going to come in. I'm on my small channel today. So, yeah. If you're here, you're not. It's no big deal. It's what it is. So I got a clip I want to show that clearly distinguishes who our enemies really are inside the United States and how and the people that sell out to our country and then give pertinent information to aid one of our other enemies. And I say, wow, did that really happen? Are we really solely depending on a communist dictator that is known for murdering people in a twinkling of an eye, no matter what their color, religion, value was? They're marginalized and murdered. Why would we trust these people? I say to myself, right? I know I would. I'm not going to think for you. That would just be a question that I would throw out there. Why would you even think about trusting your enemy? We're in a region where, especially, that we know that has caused a major health crisis across the earth. See, there's some words I don't want to say because, our communists that are falling real deep within the states here. There's people in positions that are controlling our media outlets to where they're putting bots in there to pull out a word and strike you for it. So And once they start, they'll just continue until you drop. So you're already on a list. And then they shadow ban you on top of that. So, anyways, you use that type of English, and then turn around and say, "Look, we have a First Amendment right to speak the way we do, but not on YouTube, owned by an American, propagated by Americans, used all over the earth to be free." But yet, we got an Orwellian running YouTube, running Google, running communist countries, and we can't say what we want to say. Wow. And it starts with this right here: bad decisions and sellouts. If you listen to what this guy's about to tell you, you'll hear how the U.S. president sold out Ukraine by giving China the intel.
But they don't know that that's happening, or maybe they're in favor of it. God knows what the Biden administration is thinking. According to the New York Times, quote, the United States met with China over 3 months to present intelligence showing Russia's troop buildup near Ukraine and to urge Beijing to help avert war. Chinese officials wrote the United States and then shared that information with Moscow.
You hear that? They shared that information with Moscow. Why would we do that? Why would we do something so stupid? Why would we allow somebody so stupid to say something so crazy to our people, let alone people that want to destroy our people and destroy our allies? Why would we do that? I don't get it. It don't make no sense to me. I wish there was something that, I'm going to play that again, man. Because I think it's important for people to see this, man. I think people should understand that how we're being sold out and the manners that we're being sold out. Is this worth a free paycheck to you? This type of behavior, voting for people just so that you can get some freebies, and then they turn around and do this?
The New York Times, quote, the United States met with China over 3 months to present intelligence showing Russia's troop buildup near Ukraine and to urge Beijing to help avert war. Chinese officials rebuffed the United States and then shared that information with Moscow.
I guess the operative word in there is rebuffed, right? Rebuffed. Look, I've been sitting back chilling for a reason. A voice inside my head told me, Wolby, sit back and relax and watch. Hey, how you doing, Jonathan? And watch what happens to some of these people that have been out here gaslighting and hurting other people. Watch how the karma gets them back. Quit arguing with a stop sign. People don't give a shit. Don't worry about these people. Everything that they've done's coming threefold back on them. Every single one of them that's done something wrong to a man like me that has the blood of Jesus on his soul. I told you, and I forgave them. That is what gave me my authority back. That is where it released the power that's been withheld from heaven. And it's called the Jericho moment. Do you remember when, if you listen to what God wants you to do, according to the Battle of Jericho, they had an armed army. They put a band that said, "Praise ye the Lord," all the way to the battlefield because God told Jericho to do it. And he did it through obedience. So when he got there, the enemy all turned on themselves. Does it sound familiar to you at all if you've been paying attention on these YouTube streets? Do you understand my enemies are being devoured by themselves as we speak? The people that have attacked me, the people that have done what they're doing, and they still try to. I got a YouTube strike pending on my other channel right now. Not that I care anymore. I really don't. I'll just make another one. That's why I had these backups. But, and it's not, I don't think it's, I think it's, a snowflake that runs under the cover of the 1A. Us being in the 1A, I do believe in the First Amendment community. I really do. I really think it needs some good, solid foundation. I think it needs leadership, ladies and gentlemen. I truly believe that it needs leadership. And I'm going to step up, and a few other people across the United States, I want them to step up, and let's put some leadership into it. Proper leadership. Not nothing to say what stays and what goes. Not to exploit our supremacy on each other. I'm talking about leadership as in service. As in serving our communities in a manner that we would bring pertinent information to them and do the best we can to articulate the information that we're given to people without provocation. You've been working double shifts, Jonathan? Woo! Damn it, man. Get that money, baby. Get that money. For sure, Brian. It's good to see both of you guys. You guys know you're still the top dogs on this channel, all my channels. One day, I'll probably, if I get big enough, I'll give you both executors of the channel, So, but it'll be more than the mods that are. The mods are just people, so people can share and keep each other in check themselves, because the mob's going to get them. If you already haven't seen, ladies and gentlemen, their tactics that they've used is just plain and simply karma coming and smacking them in the ass, messing with a guy and messing with people out here that they think that they can't defend themselves. And I say, you know what? Tough. Loser. You lose. You know how I win? I won as soon as I forgave them. Instead of sitting there bitching at chat, complaining about people not, being proud to be a mod. Hey, there you go. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, man. You guys, you and Jonathan, I'll probably just give you guys executive positions on the channel, though. Honestly, way higher than a mod. But the point I'm making is that when we have certain people that, and it's kind of like what's going on right now, where you see some people have turned on each other, and they're at war with each other, with their words, and contradicting themselves and putting themselves out there. You see that. It's the same thing that happens in politics. It really is. And the sad part about it is that, what they get accomplished out of it, besides putting each other down, making fools of themselves, making fools out of other people, and people allowing themselves to make fool out of themselves too as well. And I've been guilty of it. And it's stupid. But look what's happening. Why our country is falling in shambles. People are out here pointing fingers at each other and putting their foot up each other's ass. For what? Did you get what you wanted accomplished? Do you think because you had 50 or 60 freaking people in your live at one time and you've got 10,000 subscribers, do you think that them 10,000 subscribers are actually looking at you and giving you all that viewership? Nah. There's something you said that they liked and they supported it. No big deal. Most of these people don't even come. If they did, you'd have it. Now, like Zot, for an example, go look at that guy Zot, Z-O-T, the guy that's been covering those things over there. He had a live yesterday at home. He wasn't on scene. He had like 3.2 thousand people in his live. At one time. And he was just a guy that covered some stuff. People respect him. Now that's a big deal. 3,000 people out of 10,000 subscribers that he made in 2 weeks. That's awesome. That's the kind of response that you want. That's where you start making real money out here and your channel becomes a business. Right? If you're into it for it, you might as well capitalize off it and go all the way. And I believe that's what he's doing. And I could appreciate him for it. But on the other hand, I don't hear him tearing each other down. I hear him allowing people to speak, him doing interviews with specific people, giving their point of view, and still using the power that people have surrendered to him by taking his word for face value and him using it against the government and not the people. And that's where we get mixed up out here. Some people just can't handle that type of attention. And that's all it is attention, because it sure as hell ain't authority. It's submission. And once those submitted people actually realize that you are what you said everybody else is, you might have, when it's all said and done, 2/3 of those subscribers, but the people that patronized you will be gone. Because they'd be ashamed for them to stay with you. And that's the truth. So as I run this concurrent with what's going on right now, we have people inside our organization, all right, that we want to believe in. We want to believe that we are an organization. We want to organize political organizers to bring events together for us to come together and be one mind and one accord and peacefully redress our government, or not peacefully, whatever, however we do it. It doesn't even matter. But if we're going to, withstand from stupidity, you got to stay in control of that. And people need to respect one another. They need to respect, the quorum of structure that's within inside a channel when they go to it. So again, you're looking at that background right there, which you can barely see around it, but that's when that was the first bomb that dropped in Ukraine. I just had that as my background, but that's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This didn't have to happen, man, and they allowed it to happen, and it happened from within. Somebody sold them out. Some actors inside that place sold them out, but they did not have no idea the resistance that they would have, because over 70% of these people that are inside this organization, just like they are in Ukraine, actually give a damn, and they're fighting them back. Heck, just yesterday or last night, I believe they took down 2 big, gigantic carriers that carry Marines. They took them down. I believe there was like several hundred 800 Marines that were killed and taken down yesterday by the Ukrainian people. They are fighting to the death. The question is, are we going to do it when it comes to us? Are we too busy remembering all these false narratives and false prophecies and false doctrines and occults and cultural indifferences to where they would say, nope, we're tearing each other off and we're too caught up in their own stupidity as we get caught with our pants down, because that's what usually happens. Yeah. And there's just so many different things that we can look at, guys. You know, I know that I got about 3 to 5 people that keep coming in, but that's okay. Maybe everybody don't need to hear this. Maybe it's just us. I don't care. I never did care about clout. Didn't care about making money. That's not what life's about to me. My life depends on how I interpret certain things that are important to me and what I'm going to do about them, what I'm getting accomplished. And unfortunately, jealousy, bitterness, and hatred has exploited itself inside my channel, and I allowed it. And because of that, I have to pay the price for that. I have to pay the price where I got somebody so pissed at me for my reaction back in them days to somebody else's false and erroneous, two-timing, backstabbing, contradicting ass that's being attacked themselves right now. I say this. Those of you that believe in the people that you watch and patronize, don't listen to other people about them. Even those people that like PDF. If you think that man is somewhat substandard to you, stay there. Listen to him. But I got a question for you if you do. How can you justify your contents if you know for a fact that the information that the PDF has given his subscribers over the past few months and the videos and the content within his content pointing out tree jumpers, pedophiles, and etc. and corruption, right? And then he enables a pedophile and a rapist, and then has been calling people out, and I happen to be one of his victims on that. Calling me out my name, saying that I'm this and that, and yet he's been that for the last 20 years. How could you, the question that I have for you, how could you have allowed him to do that to you if you are not one of them? I say this to you, if you're not willing to expose the same kind of narrative that PDF came out with, I say to you, how can you look at yourself in the mirror and say, how is he any different from the people he's pointing out? As I say, look yourself in the mirror and be transparent with yourself. You don't have to answer to nobody but you and God if you believe in him. But you mainly, if you have any an ounce of integrity in you, why in the Sam hell would you allow a man to tell you that this pedophile is terrible over here, but this one ain't? This pedophilia over here is terrible, but this one ain't. Well, wait a minute. It's all or nothing, right? So if it's all or nothing, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself how I can put myself behind a person that enables rape of a 7-year-old, that rapes a 14-year-old, and then justifies it in the manner that they did in them videos. They're all over the internet. I don't even need to point them out. My opinion is the one who dealt it, or the one who smelt it, dealt it. It's that simple. The one who smelt it, dealt it. So it's the same thing. The one who was pointing fingers over there and putting labels on people that it just didn't fit. It didn't pass the smell test. And then all of a sudden it's coming to him threefold, as I said it would. But it's not over until, just because people have put themselves in a position and lined themselves up with me, that doesn't mean God has forgiven them. The only way God will forgive them is if they ask. And I say that if you have an ear, let them hear. If you've done something that you know that you're wrong with, and you have aligned yourself with me, but without apologizing to God and saying, Lord, I was wrong for what I said about this man, I suggest you do it, because that threefold is going to come to you as well. Because I've already forgiven everybody. I've already made it right. I've already said, you know what? My behavior in return, even though I had every right to defend myself, I should have never went to the lows that I had. Therefore, I'm ashamed of my behavior. Why ain't they ashamed of theirs? So looking in the mirror, looking forward, how do you look yourself in the mirror and shave every morning? And I'm just going to leave it alone. Because I want to see people get along. Even enemies. I think they can change. The only way that they can is you can't lie to yourself no more. Denial is a major factor in everybody's life. The good, the bad, the ugly is all in us all. Where are we going to take it? How far are we going to go with it? Are we going to target each other's channels and all because we didn't like what was said, we didn't like how it was presented, or we don't like the person in general when they're telling the truth, so therefore their truth is not your truth because you don't like the person who said it, or you don't like the way they said it? Got to grow up. Time to grow up, ladies and gentlemen. Get out of that state of frame of mind to where your crap smells better than somebody else's, because it's crap is crap no matter what crap it is. I also say to the average out there, peace lies within, and it'll come when you do the right thing. Those that lie and wait for peace after doing the right thing, it'll come to you. Give it a chance. In the meantime, I suggest people to move forward by saying a prayer for Ukraine and keeping an eye on your politicians that are being dirty right now. Because all this is a distraction to what's really coming, guys. We got a big road ahead of us. And we got a gigantic fight. This fight's going to be bigger than any fight you've ever seen. It's going to be the worst fight you've ever heard in Earth's history. Because man will not recede, and he doubles down on stupidity and hate and evil. They have no intentions on being correct. They have no intentions on giving a damn what we think as a whole. That's why the fight has to be in us. We can't just be sheep and just hop in a train knowing damn well we're going to a gas tank chamber. Can we? That's what happened to our friends, the Jews, back in 1934. 1935. It's sad what happened over there, and it's starting to head that way again, but in a different way. History repeats itself, ladies and gentlemen. Are we going to be the same Muppets we were back then? Yeah. I call it Muppets because we've been around a while. Puppets and then Muppets. You go into a Muppet, especially if you're a follower. The leadership inside of your heart should tell you the difference between them two. If you don't know, stick around a while. You might get it. If you don't, I think you should study yourself, approve, rightly dividing the word of truth. And the only way you can do that is to open up the book and read it. You're not going to get what's in the book unless you open it and read it all and then rightly divide it. That means rightly, carefully go over and apply it in every way in your life. If you can do that, then I believe if you are a believer in the Almighty King Jesus as well as I am, and if you have that same belief system, then you can also say that you've done everything in your power to do what it is that you needed to do to submit yourself to the Holy One and know your place in life. Subject yourself to the words of righteousness, because wide is the path to destruction, but narrow is the path to righteousness. We're seeing all these things play out. I don't have to sit and remind people and preach and teach and all that other stuff. I don't need to do that. All I need to do is, if you've got a conscience still, go back on your conscience. If you have a belief in Jesus, why don't you go learn a bit and go to a book that has a minute and read a little bit more about the 5 books that's in there. Because all this that we're looking at right here has been prophesied. All of it. The next thing is that they're going to posse up against. The world is going to turn against Israel. And they're going to do it. They're going to try it a couple times. Get rid of a dot that's in the city of the earth called Israel. And they're going to attack the Jews all the way up in Jerusalem. It's crazy, guys. It's going to happen. And you're watching it happen right now. You've got a president that plays ignorant, that wants us to believe that he has Alzheimer's disease. That's why they put him there, so he can get away with all this stuff. Why is it that this guy can make complete sentences and once in a blue moon sound okay and then turn around and sound like a complete retard? Anybody ever wonder that? Anybody ever wonder why they went after Trump the way they did and threatened to use on an amendment that they found called the 25th Amendment? And then they actually get somebody in there to where they can put the 25th Amendment on them? Oh, yeah. They're going to get that 8 years one way or another, in my opinion. I think what they're going to do is right at the end of Joe Biden's term, they're going to use the 25th Amendment on him. And they're going to get him out of there. And then they're going to sign a war because he's a wartime president. And they will stay in office until that war is over. Because that's the Constitution of the United States. You haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. Appreciate it. I just brought out just that little thing where our so-called president gave our enemies, the enemies of our enemies, intel and expected them to help us when actually they helped the other enemy. to invade Ukraine. They conspired against Ukraine by giving intel. China gave that intel that the United States gave them. Qing gave information that Biden gave him to help try to stop him. That's the so-called narrative. Into helping him to turn around into not help us, but help Putin invade Ukraine. All right, man. With that, I digress. I only got a few people in here, but my other channel, it's going through some issues right now because people want to see it taken down. So they go and listen to every word. You hear me, guys? That thing's been up for a couple days, about 5 or 6 days. And they went through every word and tried to get it down like Ross Kahn did when she... But I'm not worried about it because her karma's coming to her. I promise you that. I wish her well and I forgive her. But I wish she'd stop harassing me. You know, that woman come out of nowhere. I didn't know who she was. And people pretend because they think they're so narcissistic, ladies and gentlemen, that what they do is they think just because they have a lot of people that know each other, that everybody else should know them. And I didn't know her from Eve. I didn't. I really didn't. That hater popped out of nowhere, conspiring against me from the very beginning, thinking that they're somebodies when they're nobodies. Watch what happens to them, guys. Watch. I'm denouncing it. I'm denouncing the action right now that I am angry, upset, or bitter from her, and I forgive her. Now watch what happens from here. Watch what happens. Anyway, I'm going to end this. I hope people get the narrative that I'm putting out. The narrative is that there's two narratives out here. One is watch the people that you trust. And then two, verify the people that you trust by looking in the mirror. At the end of the day, when the sun goes down, did you make the right choice? If you didn't, tomorrow's a new day. Brian, Jonathan, and the other two people that's in here, appreciate you. God bless. I'm back quiet reading the mail.